Today on Dylan Talks Tone, we're going to talk a little bit more about guitar cables, but we're going to talk about the opposite of what we were talking about before. How's it going? My name is Dylan. This is Dylan Talks Tone, and today we're going to talk just a little bit more about guitar cables. Because in our video about the 500-foot cable and what that does to your signal, we'll put one of those little gray boxes up there, we talked about the effect that signal, the length and capacitance in the cable. It's capacitance in the cable that has on your guitar signal. It takes away highs, so much so that it almost sounded like we had the tone knob turned all the way down in that experiment. Now that happens with every cable, right? And so the factors that go into that are the length of the cable, as well as the quality, the construction, internal construction of the cable. And that internal construction of the cable affects the amount of capacitance per foot. And they measure it in picofarads per foot, okay? For instance, the cables that we sell at Dylan Talks Tone, 21 picofarads per foot. And so there's a lot more clarity there. It doesn't mess with the signal as much as some other cables that are, really well known and, expensive. The question came up, what if I want my signal to be darkened by my cable? What if I don't want it to be so crispy and clarity on top? What if I like darker tones? In fact, I had a client send me that question. And I said, well, first of all, there's a couple things you got to remember. One is, once you take that signal away with the passive cable, you can't get it back. And then we had other people say, well, I could put a graphic equalizer in there and then I could just put the signal, the frequency back in. You can boost signal and you can boost frequencies that are present, and you can cut frequencies that are present with a graphic equalizer. But if it's not there at all because you lost it because of capacitive loss, you can't put it back in. In my opinion, this is just an opinion, I like to run a low capacitance cable because then I can be as flexible as I want with the signal that I have. And it gives me as wide a range as possible. That's the way we design our pickups. That's the way we design everything here, is to give you as much palette to work with, and then you can cut out of that what you want. And then you might say, okay, that's fine, except that I kind of have my defined tone and I don't like my cable to be super bright. I want it to be a little dark. This is the Neutrik Timbre cable end. And we're going to put these on our website as part of a cable assembly. They are not cheap. I will tell you that this end of this cable costs $23 or something. It's very expensive for this cable end. But it has a very interesting feature. It has a knob right here, and you can adjust from all the way bright to a little darker to a little darker. So you can actually adjust your cable to respond differently. Why would you want that? Well, what if you're using a guitar that, like this Tele right here, that has a humbucker in the neck and a single in the bridge, and you want to be able on the fly to play with that? What if you play a jazz master on one song and you play something with humbuckers on the other, and you want to be able to mess with that stuff on the fly without doing a bunch of fiddling with your settings? This might be the ticket right here, because it'll change how your guitar hits your pedal board. It's really, really cool. I was really skeptical of it until I really tried it for myself. And I decided, you know what? We're going to go ahead and add it to the website, because as a cable assembly, so you'll be able to buy this cable with this end on it. So let me show you what it sounds like. The difference is subtle, but it is there. And you can think about this now in relation to the rest of your pedals, the relation to your amp settings, and even how you use your tone knob on your guitar. And that brings me to another thing. So somebody's going to say, well, I just use the tone knob on my guitar. I don't need that. But this can change how your whole guitar hits your pedal board or hits your amp. And like I said, if you're using two completely diverse guitars in your setup, if you're using something that's a very dark guitar versus a very bright guitar, and you have to adjust within everything to make all that work, this is really cool. It's not for everybody. I'm not going to use it because I want as low capacitance, super clarity as possible. The flexibility in the cable is not important to me personally, but I know it is to a lot of other people, and so we're going to make it available. I think it's really, really cool. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you today because it's not just about having the brightest cable possible. Sometimes it's about being a little bit more adjustable and a little bit more flexible. And you know, for me, I think it's very interesting for other people to see what is available out there and if it actually works. You heard it in the samples. I think it's really cool. My name is Dylan. This is Dylan Talks Tone. If you have any questions about this cable or the other one I just showed you, or anything to do with pedal boards or wiring or guitars or any of that kind of stuff, do me a favor and hit me in the comments below. Let me know. Do you like dark tone or do you like bright tone, and how do you get it? Put that in the comments. I'm very curious to hear if this is something that you think you would use, or if it's unnecessary to you. You know, keep it civil. Just because you think differently than somebody else doesn't make anything wrong. I'm just telling you that right now. We got a lot of that in the comments lately. Just calm down. We all love our guitar gear, but I'm curious to know how you feel about it. It's very cool. Do me a favor also, hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it, and then that way you'll know the next time we make a cool video just like this one.